Welcome to Gear Up Garage, the ride revolution, the channel where legends of the automotive world are celebrated in detail. Today, we explore the Pontiac GTO, a car that defined an entire era and is often regarded as the very first true American muscle car. With its bold looks, powerful engines, and rebellious character, the GTO remains one of the most iconic vehicles in history. The Pontiac GTO first roared onto the scene in 1964. At that time, the American automotive industry was experimenting with new concepts, and performance cars were gaining popularity among younger buyers. Pontiac executives had the idea of fitting a massive V8 engine into a relatively mid-sized car, the Pontiac Tempest. This idea was daring and went against the corporate rules of the time, but it worked brilliantly. The result was the Pontiac GTO, a car that sparked a movement and started the golden era of muscle cars. From the very beginning, the GTO made a bold statement. Its name alone carried an aura of performance, borrowed from Ferrari's Gran Turismo Omologato. This gave the car a racing pedigree even before it turned a wheel. Under the hood, the GTO was powered by a 389 cubic inch V8 engine producing up to 348 horsepower when paired with the tri-power carburetor system. This gave it the kind of performance that was unheard of in a car of its size and price range. It could accelerate quickly, dominate the quarter mile, and produce an exhaust note that came to symbolize American muscle. The styling of the GTO also set it apart. Early models featured clean lines, aggressive grills, and an athletic stance that made the car look fast even when standing still. By 1966, the GTO had become a standalone model with its own identity, no longer just an option package on the Tempest. The design evolved with stacked headlights, sleek curves, and muscular proportions. Each new version brought fresh excitement, keeping the GTO ahead of its competition. Perhaps the most legendary version arrived in 1969 with the Judge. This special edition was Pontiac's answer to the demand for bold styling and maximum performance. It came with eye-catching stripes, bright colors like carousel red, and the Ram Air engines that pushed performance even further. The Judge became an icon of the late 1960s, capturing the rebellious, fun-loving attitude of the era. It wasn't just a car, it was a cultural symbol of freedom and individuality. Performance was always at the heart of the Pontiac GTO. As muscle car wars heated up, Pontiac responded with even more powerful options, including the Ram Air 3 and Ram Air IV engines. These engines delivered brutal acceleration, making the GTO a fearsome competitor on the streets and drag strips. Drivers loved the raw, visceral experience of piloting a GTO, where power and speed were always at your command. Unfortunately, the golden age of the GTO did not last forever. The early 1970s brought challenges in the form of stricter emissions regulations, rising insurance costs, and the fuel crisis. These factors forced automakers to cut back on performance. The GTO gradually lost its edge, and by 1974, the once mighty muscle car was a shadow of its former self. By the mid-70s, production came to an end, leaving behind a legacy that would never be forgotten. The GTO name did make a brief return in the early 2000s when Pontiac introduced a new model based on the Holden Monaro from Australia. This modern GTO delivered strong V8 performance and solid handling, but it lacked the flamboyant design and raw character of the original. While it was respected for its engineering, it struggled to capture the same magic that made the 1960s GTO a legend. Today, the Pontiac GTO is remembered as one of the most important cars in automotive history. It was the car that started the muscle car